Hi friends, welcome back to my training series. I hope you're doing well, I hope you're hanging in there. Hey, another week of training in the books for me. Things are ramping up a bit as I'm starting to feel life come back into my body. We're about 6 weeks away from the Canadian death race, so it's time to get moving again. Hey, is anyone here doing Bigfoot 200 this year? Stick around for the Q&A section of this video. I have something that might help someone. Anyway, so let's get talking about this week's training. First off, on Monday I enjoyed a rest day. And then on Tuesday I was assigned 65 to 75 minutes of easy movement as well as yoga. Even though I was assigned to walk and run, I ran most of this and I was feeling good. The pace wasn't terrible either. I managed to average just over a 12-minute pace. I ran 5.4 miles in 67 minutes with 520 feet of gain. And then after work, I joined my regular Tuesday yoga class over Zoom. On Wednesday, I was assigned 30 to 40 minutes of indoor rowing plus a strength workout. I rowed for 30 minutes and then I did the workout. I ended up skipping the kettlebell halo exercise because that would hurt my shoulder when I was working on that a few months ago. Also on Wednesday, I picked up a large printed map of the Canadian Death Race course and put the map on the wall. If you're a channel member, check out a video I posted last year about how I make these maps. They're really inexpensive and I find them very useful for my mental prep. I put a link in the description below. On Thursday, I was assigned 65 to 75 minutes of easy movement as well as yoga. I ran 75 minutes at Lord Hill and again, the running felt great. I got in 5.7 miles with 950 feet of gain. I got busy with other projects after work and I totally forgot about doing yoga. On Friday, I was assigned 40 to 50 minutes of easy running, as well as a strength and mobility workout. I did an easy neighborhood road run, doing 5.2 miles in 48 minutes. And then I did my strength workout. I feel a little bit out of practice with these strength workouts, but I'm happy to have them in the mix again. On Saturday, I was assigned 2 hours of endurance running. I was pretty excited to be doing a longer run again, and I ran 2 hours at Lord Hill and had a really good time. All right, I am gonna practice some Jose Sosa fueling. Jose told me after Cocodona that he would sometimes run with a bag like this and just pour water right into it and then eat straight from it. So I brought a little spoon with me and I brought a water bottle with me. Jose said sometimes he will just, if he has water in a flask, he'll just squeeze it in. Both of my waters have hydration in it, so I brought some clear water with me. So I'll just pour a little bit in there. Alright, that's good. Okay, and then I got my spoon. So I'll just mix it up in there. All right, that's pretty great. Yeah. I felt fairly strong during this run and I pushed myself more than I have been. In fact, I love this comment from my friend Jennifer Schwegler that sometimes we need to push it a little to get the body geared back up into rebuilding for intensity. It was a real boost to have this good run. I was really happy afterward. I ended up with 8.5 miles and 1,560 feet of gain. Finally on Sunday, I was assigned 75 minutes of easy movement. I started out running pretty easy and walking a little here and there. I realized I was running late to meet Leah back in the parking lot, so I pushed the pace for the last mile. I finished up running 6.3 miles with 490 feet of gain in 1 hour and 21 minutes. Overall, this was a great week. I focused more of my attention on fueling this week, and I also pushed myself harder than I have been, and everything just felt like a win. I finished the week with 6.5 hours of running for a total of 31.2 miles. All right, let's jump into some Q&A. Matteo asks, what do I think about the theory that endurance running is largely mental? A lot of us talk about this during ultra running events, about how much of it is mental, especially the longer events. And I generally agree that it's mostly in your head, although it does take some physical training, I think, to make it an enjoyable experience. But last year at Oregon 200, I met a runner named Jeff, and the Oregon 200 was his second 200 in that year. And that earlier in 2023, he ran the Cocodona 250, which was his first trail race. I just don't think anybody has any business doing so well with almost no training, or not no training, but very little training, to be able to do two 200s in a year. I think it was a real testament to his mental strength. I mean, he was a pretty strong guy. But every year I meet people who has a story similar to this, where they have not necessarily physically trained what you might think of for so many miles, but they're able to push through because it really is a mental thing where you just have to motivate yourself to keep moving. The physical training is helpful. I think it helps to be a little bit less painful maybe, but even if you are physically fit, these endurance events really are mental challenges. Well, that's the only question actually I got this week. So let me ask you a question. Are you running Bigfoot 200 this year? I've got this copy of Ryan Chachusky's book about the Bigfoot 200 course that I would like to gift someone who could use it. I found this book really helpful when I was prepping for pacing duties at Bigfoot in 2019, and then when I ran myself Bigfoot 200 in 2022. So if you live in the U.S. and you're running Bigfoot 200 this year, especially if this is your first Bigfoot, I think this might be useful in your mental training. Put a comment below that you'd like to be entered to win this book, and then next week, if there's any interest in this little game, I'll randomly choose a name from a hat and I'll mail you this book. But because of shipping, you must live in the U.S. for this little raffle we're going to do. Anyway, this is a great book, and I would love for it to live on and help someone else in their training. If you have a question you'd like me to talk about in next week's video, please put it in the comments below. And I think that's it for now. Thanks a lot for watching. I hope you have a great week. Talk to you next week. Take care.